Hi Scorpio, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2015. Now, this is the time of the year each year that the sun comes to the top of your chart, and that is an area about worldly responsibilities, more worldly things like bureaucracy, things like your worldly responsibilities. And the solar energy theme means that you've got to be taking those targets and ambitions a little bit more seriously, figuring out how you can best present yourself to make the impression that you desire, or best present something. Traditions will probably have more emphasis at this time, and you may have to be more aware of the rules and regulations imposed by society at this time, maybe authority figures. Maybe for some of you that would be parents, or maybe for some of you that would be your parental role, or maybe it is your role as somebody who is reliable and who is responsible and can be relied upon by others out there in the world. So the overall idea is to just project somehow or other the image that you want and be consistent as you go forwards. There's a lot of emphasis on this area. There's the sun in there, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and after the 9th, Mars. They're all in that area there. So, and did I mention Jupiter? Jupiter's leaving anyway on the 11th, but Jupiter's there as well. So, until the 8th, discussions and correspondence will revolve around these types of things: short-term plans, longer-term considerations, direction. It could be that you are keeping your ear to the ground and keeping your eyes open and seeing the way things are unfolding across the wider stage. Also vehicles, travel, transport, that could all be on your mind. Now, Mercury moves out of there and moves into the next area, which is very progressive. And in fact, they're all going to be going into that area. So this is all switching from this rather sort of kind of pompous, stuffy, I would say, energy where you have to sort of think about standards and presentation a little bit more, into a really far more freewheeling, progressive kind of area. But you can be successful, in working through either of these areas. But the emphasis is slowly going to go on to this more progressive area from the 8th to the 28th. This is group orientated, or this is, like I say, it's progressive. So it might be like, okay, finally I can get on with this. Finally I can go there. Finally I can see that person. Finally I can have this experience, that I've been wanting to have, or do this thing, or whatever it is. Feeling as though it's quite unfamiliar, it's a little bit quirky, maybe it's a little bit off the beaten track, maybe it might be like that. That's between the 8th and 28th, and then from the 28th, but also beginning to feel that you are able to think in fresh new colors as well. And then from the 28th, Mercury goes into a sort of a deeper area where you may be more of the overseer, you're not quite decided about something's a little bit up in the air, and so you're just keeping an eye on things, as it were. It's a kind of service orientated area as well, but that's from the 28th right at the end of the month. Now, apart from July the 19th and August the 1st, when she brings support or material advantage through groups or friends, Venus is helping to create more favorable circumstances with authority figures. So everything I was saying about the bureaucracy, the establishment, the status quo, the presentation, Venus is really, really oiling the wheels there for you and facilitating things. So don't think it's going to be too harsh of a challenge, because you can really hit it off. You can really do business. You can really find those people who are sort of like the little golden nuggets in the contacts, maybe, who are going to be interested. They're going to become involved. They're going to be, supporting you either directly or, in fact, indirectly through what they're bringing your way. So I would work that energy, and you could feel as though somebody is giving you a leg up, giving you a push up the ladder, very much so. But also somebody could be seeing you as the one who is in a position of power enough over them to give them the leg up the ladder as well. So, one man's ceiling is another man's floor. And Venus is going to be helping you out hugely in that sector until October. Now, until the 9th, Mars is in a more outgoing, expansive area of your chart. This means maybe big ideas. You leave behind the time of inner turbulence, which was previous to that, and begin to step more into the light of mental and emotional clarity. You're beginning to see how it begins to fit together. You're beginning to get those crucial little bits of the puzzle. The information, or indeed the information is going out there and it's beginning to sort of ferment and work. So this may be the right moment to launch a new scheme or enterprise, or to go on a journey of discovery, because it might not be like any of those things. It might be just that you are on an adventure and this is a great energy for that. You'll be physically active in learning through doing, because this is Jupiter's house, so always Mars and Jupiter together. It's extremely expansive. It's kind of opportunistic. It's positive energy, and that's you grasping perhaps concepts or experiences that you didn't have a clue about before, and saying, okay, that is where they're coming from, or this is the way it works. I get it now, Some of you may be getting out and about more, and this is a good time for you to do that and for you to shake out the cobwebs. Just take a different road home from work, if that's the least you can do, or more, go on a trip. Take a trip. Just get right out of the routine box, because this will clear your palate, this will clear your mind, and then you will be coming back at whatever it is that's going on in a better, fresher kind of a way. And then from the 9th, Mars, I'm counting on the fact that you'll be listening to this in July. And then from the 9th, Mars transits into this area, the same area as I mentioned earlier, the area of your responsibilities, the image, the presentation, the reliability, etc., and the more worldly concerns, how you are going to achieve the plan, the set it up, scheduling, deadline, that kind of thing maybe. And Mars can be aggressive, so in this area here, you might feel really very exasperated with some parental figure, some authority figure, some establishment figure, whatever it is, because you think they're slow, or they're just doing it on purpose, they're blocking, whatever it is, and inefficient, uncooperative. So just keep your cool and just keep, plugging away there with what you want to achieve. Use a bit of law of attraction, a little bit of magic coming in there, seeing it clearly, knowing it to be true. The only thing that separates you from this successful outcome is time. And you will make progress. Now, from the 23rd, the sun moves into this very forward moving area. So you got a picking up of speed, even though Mars moves first and the sun then, well, actually Jupiter moves on the 11th. So anyway, the sun moves and that's on the 23rd. And then again, putting center stage contacts, new and old, networking, group involvement, friendships, community, anything to do with technology or anything really advanced or unconventional, and anything which has been on the back burner, now you can push forward with, now you can get the ball rolling. Saturn, I've mentioned, is back in the latter degrees of your sign until September the 17th. So this means that you will gradually be learning how to take your responsibilities in the world more seriously, concentrate your energies more purposefully onto specific targets, which build new structures for the future. And you Scorpios born from the 19th of November or from 27 degrees rising will be feeling that energy the most at the moment. And this is the very, very end. It's almost like the grand sweeping, or you could say the lash of the dragon's tail, pulling it all together just before the transit finishes. And until the 18th, Jupiter he's finishing off his stint in your area of overall direction in life, opportunities coming your way for new doors opening, for career choices maybe, or just which way you're going with your life now. And it's been an interesting time for you to learn and grow through career, through profession, through work, through encountering new challenges which you learn a lot from, and growing wiser now, beginning to get the wisdom now, because this is the way the game is played. And then from the 11th, Jupiter moves and will be in the next sector for 12 months. And this sector is going to help you grow and learn and grow and expand through groups, new associations, within a collective of others who have interests or a situation or an intention in common. New friends, old friends as well, though, but new friends and colleagues are those with a commonality between them. And you could be viewed as the enabler, the advisor, the teacher, the guide. Or you may find yourself joining with at times because the year is a long time, being the student and looking up to somebody else who is the teacher, the enabler, the guide. And you could be very much more connected to a key group, a specialist group of others. And you early Scorpios born in the first about 4 days, and Scorpio rising the first 4 or 5 degrees, or those of you born from the 19th of November or from 27 degrees rising will feel this energy most this forecast period. This is like a grand finale here, because all of you later, very, very late Scorpios and very, very early Scorpios are feeling these energies. And it's like good cop, bad cop energy. It's a bit like that. And speaking of Saturn and Jupiter, which I just was, they are actually in aspect because they are so close by degree this month. So from very, very late July until about just past the middle of August, they're kind of rubbing against each other in a kind of a friction, like tectonic plates. They're just moving against and sliding against each other. And so this can be a good aspect for you. It needs to be handled, though. Overall, it's a growth aspect. Overall, it's allowing you to develop in an area, but you might have to cut back in another area, because Saturn, you have to meet the criteria of Saturn, and Saturn stands for limitation. Saturn stands for pulling in rather than throwing your arms wide and embracing more and more, which is what Jupiter wants to do. So you have to laser in with that scorpionic intensity into the area that you're really interested in, that you feel for, that you're pulled to, even though somebody else or other things might be saying, oh no, this is the way to go, this is more logical. You have to go, and not with the ego. I'm talking about like the inner compass that you have, that you Scorpio people really do have. So what you lean towards, what gives you a little sort of flutter of, well, that would be good, and not with the ego though. So you might have to separate ego from like true knowing, all right? And these two, so you make an informed decision. You look at the facts, you say, this really isn't working. I mean, consistently, it really isn't working. But don't feel pushed, because it's not over till Fat Lady sings, of course, to make that decision. But this is a time for you to focus more onto the bit that feels right and good to you, and less onto the bit that that you know you don't have the energy, the time, the resources, whatever it is for. Sort of separating the wheat from the chaff, really. And it's possible that those decisions and those actions that you take now will have a long-term effect, because anything done under Saturn usually does. So you like set a precedent for a phase to come. And as Saturn is about to move and Jupiter are about to move into the new sectors in your chart, then that will be taking the emphasis out of these old areas and putting them into those two new areas which I've described. Well, I haven't really described the one for Saturn, but you'll find out pretty soon. And so watch out for some fuzzy thinking on the 12th to the 13th. There might be somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes, or not all the information is there, or just something totally confusing that you don't understand. So wait until that's all over or before. And then also take extra care of your energy field or your feelings, or just take extra care maybe of nearest and dearest as well. It might be like that for you from the 30th to early September. I don't mean being paranoid. I simply mean you might feel more easily influenced by outside influences. All right, so just between that date, those 2 dates, the 30th to early September, the first two days, September, 2-3 days. But some of you might not notice it at all. And I think that is it for August. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also this material is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com. And I will see you the next time.